Hello, I'm Bethany from Bethany Wellness. Join me as we flow into spring. La 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 la. Yay, spring has arrived. I love spring, especially in Colorado. Things begin to green up a little bit and you get to see beautiful snow-capped mountains. So I thought it would be wonderful if we could celebrate our flowing into spring in an outdoor practice. So please join me if you feel comfortable going to the outdoors for your practice today. If you do not have an outdoor space that you would like to do a practice in, I would encourage you to maybe go towards a window so that you're closer to window and where you can actually see outside during your practice. So go ahead and get set up and let's begin in Shavasana pose. Lying down, legs stretched out or knees bent with your feet on the mat. And if you're choosing to take your practice indoors today, I would encourage you to open a window a little bit so that you can hear the sounds that are outside. And if you're choosing to practice with me in the outdoors today, begin to notice the sound. Observing all the sounds you hear. Sometimes those sounds are made from people, whether it's cars, noises that come from our urban settings. So do notice all the sounds of nature, sound of trees in the wind, or animals or birds. Just notice, absorbing all the sounds you hear, being part of your environment. Connecting to your breath. Connect to a nice, steady breathing pattern. Your breath is full, starting in the belly, rising up to the shoulders as you inhale, and then pause at the top of your inhale before you take your exhale, letting your air go back down to your belly. Let your body sink down to the ground, feeling the support beneath you. If you're outside, you may notice differences in the surface beneath you, different bumps or different levels. Just notice that, be part of that, and embrace that. And embrace all the sounds you're hearing, whether it's sounds of nature or sounds of people. Just be part of the environment you are in. We benefit in so many ways by being outdoors. Helps us to be happier, helps us to have less stress, less anxiety, less depression. So just soak in all the benefits of being in nature. Absorbing a little bit of vitamin D if you're feeling the sunlight on your skin. Thanking God for His beautiful creation that surrounds you at this very moment. And reach your arms overhead. Take a nice stretch. You can point your toes as you wake up your legs. Exhale to Starfish Pose. Create an X with your body. Bring your arms out to the corners of your mat. Bring your feet to the corners. And then flex your toes. So you're activating your legs, opening the heels and the calf muscles. Activate your fingers. So we're activating the arms, pointing those fingers, stretching the fingers out. Then exhale, soften into your starfish. Let the feet relax. Let your hands relax. One more time. Active starfish. Flex those feet so the heels press away from you. Activate your fingers. Exhale, soften into the pose. Let your feet and hands relax. And bring your feet to the mat. Exhale, draw knees in, hugging them in. Wake up your feet, point your toes, flex your toes. Go around in circles. And slowly roll to your side, helping yourself to rise up to a cross-legged pose. If cross-legged is not comfortable for you, come into a different pose that's seated that is comfortable for you. Shimmy a little bit side to side, find your sits bones. Sit towards the front of your sits bones to lengthen your spine tall. Take your gaze down to the ground in front of you, noticing anything on the ground. Shoulders release away from your ears. Nice steady breath, connecting to your breathing pattern. Each time we change a pose, we want to connect to breath. Inhale, reach arms high, gaze up to fingers. If you have the option to gaze up towards the sky, do so. Noticing anything in the sky, whether it's the treetops or the color of the sky or the clouds. Exhale, spinal twist to the right. Bring your left hand to your right leg and gently twist. Inhale back to center, both arms high, gazing back up to the treetops or looking out the window if you're near a window. Exhale, twist to the left, spinal twist. You can go as deep in your twist or as gentle as you would like, using that hand as leverage on your leg. Inhale, both arms high, gaze up. Exhale, release your arms down. Give your arms a little shake. Good, and then coming into tabletop on your mat, knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Inhale, cow pose. Let your belly soften down, gaze up. Exhale, tuck and round, cat pose. Gaze back, puff up between your shoulders, rounding through the spine. Go at your own pace now with your own breath, linking your breath with your movement. Inhale as belly softens down for cow. Exhale as you tuck and round for cat. One more cow, one more cat. Exhale, child's pose. Sink hips to heels, draw forehead to rest down. Knees can be together or drawn wide. Finding your peace and your stillness as you are in your environment, as you're noticing the sounds around you and feeling the earth beneath you. Inhale as you rise up into table. Draw the right leg out at a diagonal to the side. I'll face you here so you can see a little better. Right leg comes out. Maybe your left leg. Left leg comes out. Plant your foot down. So you'll notice that ankle opens a little. Draw hands to hips. Staying right here. Maybe this is comfortable. Maybe this is where you want to be today. Or you can inhale the arms high. Maybe you want to stay here. It's your choice, your body, honor it. Or you can exhale to the left for gate pose. Releasing the left hand down to your leg and taking your gaze up. Once again, noticing any of the scenery around you as you look up. Inhale, both arms high. Exhale, release down. Switching sides, draw that left leg in and switch to the other side. Right foot comes out. Bringing hands to hips. Staying here, noticing how that feels. If you'd like to go a little more, bring the arms up, gaze up. You can stay here. Or you can exhale into the gate pose, bringing right hand to the right leg. I apparently have my sides mixed up today. It's because I'm so at peace in nature. One more breath. And inhale, rise both arms up. And release down into table. Curl your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips high. Pedal this out a little bit, especially this first one. Sometimes those calf muscles are a little tight or those heels are a little resistant. Spread your fingers nice and wide. There should be more weight on the pad of muscle between your thumb and pointer finger. That helps your wrist a little more comfortably. Give your head a little nod. Good. Walk feet to the top of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. You can bend the knees as much as you'd like here, especially this first forward fold. Make sure your head and neck are relaxed. Give it a little nod. Inhale, halfway lift. Draw hands to shins, creating a number 7 with your body. Shoulder blades draw together. Bring arms out to T position. Rise up with a flat back. Extended mountain, reaching to the sky. Gaze up. Then connect hands at heart center. Gaze down. Release hands by your sides, mountain pose. Take a moment here to notice the surface underneath your feet, drawing up energy from the ground. So imagine you're kind of having those roots that are going deep into the ground to find a steady foundation in your mountain. Then swing palms back out, rise arms up, extended mountain, gaze up. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Right arm behind you, left arm in front, gaze to the back hand. Inhale to center. Exhale, open twist to the left. Left arm behind you, hips are forward. Inhale back to center, both arms high. Swan dive down. Draw arms to T position, then forward fold, exhale. Good. Step left foot back, low lunge. Option to have blocks here on the low lunge if you'd like a block on each side of your foot. Option to tripod your fingers. Right knee over right ankle. Release the back knee down. Runner's lunge. Walk the right foot off towards the side of your mat. Hands to the center. You can even come to the lateral side of your foot, which is the outer edge of your foot, opening the right hip. Steady breath. Find your breathing pattern. Take a moment to notice your surroundings. Maybe there's a little bit of a breeze blowing through your face, through your hair. Maybe there's more sounds you can notice. That was perfect timing. A bird just made a sound for me. Lift the back knee up, low lunge. Step your left foot forward, forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Draw hands to shins. Create that number 7. Bring arms out to sides, T position. Rise all the way up. Extended mountain. Gaze up. Noticing the sky. Connect hands to heart center. Gaze down. Noticing the ground. And palms by your sides. Mountain pose. Find your foundation in your mountain. Spreading those toes a little bit. Connecting to the ground. Good. Inhale, rise, arms up, extended mountain. Exhale, side bend to the right. Release the right arm down. Take your gaze towards the sky. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, back to center. Swan dive down. Exhale, forward fold. Step your right foot back, low lunge. Left foot stays at the top. Hands frame your foot. A couple more breaths. Just find what's comfortable here. If you need some blocks, use those so that you can access the pose a little more comfortably. You can also bring your hands to fists. Sometimes the wrists get a little tired. Release the back knee, runner's lunge. Walk the left foot out to the diagonal. Coming out to the lateral side of your foot if you would like. That's optional. Opening the left hip. Steady breath. Good. And slowly bring that foot back to center. Low lunge, back knee lifts up. Step right foot forward, forward fold, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to shins, shoulder blades together. Big stretch through the back of your legs and hamstrings. Mine are always tight. Stay with your breath here. Those hamstrings get a little defensive and make your breath shallow. Bring arms out to T position, rise all the way up, extended mountain. Interlace fingers, press palms away from you, palm tree pose. Lift out of your heels. So coming to the tippy toes. Into your palm tree, a nice lengthened tall palm tree. Gazes maybe down at the ground to find something to focus on. Then exhale to chair. Sit down in a chair pose. Release the heels first, then come to your chair. Nice neutral back, so we're not arching or rounding. We're just keeping a neutral back as much as possible. Your core is slightly connected here. Option to have arms overhead. You can bring them to heart center if that's more comfortable, or shoulder height. One more breath. Connect hands to heart center. Exhale, forward fold. Give your head a nod. Good. Step both feet back, high plank. Hold here in high plank. From your knees, if you need support in your high plank, that's perfectly fine. Hold for a couple breaths. Exhale, downward facing dog. Release your knees, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Sink hips to heels. Inhale, rise up, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts high, 3-limb dog. Exhale, low lunge. Pull your right foot through. Take a couple steps if you need to. From here, rotate the back foot, warrior two. Find that heel arch alignment first. Your front heel should have an imaginary line to the arch of your back foot. Arms draw to T, gaze is over the front fingers, the right fingers. Couple more breaths. Nice, strong warrior, finding your inner warrior. Noticing the environment you're in. Integrating, becoming part of your environment. Slowly rise up with heels drawing in, 5-pointed star. Active fingers, we're reaching those fingers up. Both heels are in, toes are out. Connect hands at heart center. Exhale, horse pose. Squat down into a wide-legged squat. Powerful horse pose. Steady your breath, steady your focus. Observing the sounds and sights around you. Being grateful for nature. Rise back up, 5-pointed star. Good. Draw hands to hips. Rotate toes forward. Nice wide stance here, but you should still feel sturdy. Inhale first, then exhale. Forward fold into a wide-legged fold. You can release your hands, and then from here, you may wish to widen the feet a little more so you can release down into your fold. Always honor your edge. Wherever your edge is, stay right there. Don't go beyond it. Head and neck relaxed. Notice a different perspective as you're gazing back underneath your legs. What's the view behind you? Upside down view. And slowly from here, with the support of your hands, you may wish to heel toe your feet in a little bit so that you can bring hands back to hips. Rise up with a flat back. Very nice. Rotate left toes for warrior two. Lunging into warrior two from here. Gazing towards the back of your mat. As you draw those arms to T, shoulders should be soft. Rotate the palms up briefly just to be sure. Gaze over those left fingers. Lots of strength through that left thigh. Couple more breaths. Finding that inner warrior. We all have it. We just need to connect to it. Then inhale, rise up, 5-pointed star. Heels in, toes out. Active fingers. Finding something to gaze at. Connecting hands to heart center. Exhale to horse. Find that strong horse pose. Building a little bit of heat and strength. Noticing your temperature changing or shifting a little bit. 5 small pulses in your horse. Rise up, back down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then rise up. Nice job. 5-pointed star. Good. Bring hands to hips. Heel toe those feet in a little bit. Here we want our feet with the heels in. You can do this at the top of your mat, or you can come to the long edges of your mat like I am. Heels in about hip distance apart, maybe a little farther. Toes will be out. Drawing hands to heart center. Exhale to frogs. We're going to squat down here. Your frog may be right here today. Maybe you stop halfway for your frog pose. That's perfectly fine. Maybe you go a little deeper. Maybe you'd like to place a block on the mat and sit to the block. Or maybe you would just like to try squatting down for your frog. Finding your frog today. Everybody's frog is different. That's what's beautiful about yoga. It's you on your mat, in your body, honoring and meeting your body where it's at. Steady breath. Notice the ground in your frog pose, looking down, surveying the surroundings, absorbing the surroundings. One more breath. Now from here, you can place your hands down on the mat to rise back up, or you can rise up with hands to heart center. You choose. Whew. Good job. Shake that out. Some people love frog pose. Some people really are challenged by it and don't favor it. We all have poses in yoga that we favor or we don't favor. So just embrace it. Good. And then coming into tree pose. How appropriate would it be to be a tree today in our outside spring class? Draw hands to heart center. Bring right foot up. You can choose here if you'd have big toe to touch, or bring that foot to your calf muscle or above the knee. Avoid placing your foot on the knee. Be aware here, I'm on a sort of a uneven, maybe a little bit of bumpy surface. If you're in that space, just find a little spot you can rest on. Embrace that little bit of that unevenness. It's another reason practicing yoga outside just adds a little extra layer of challenge. You can certainly have branches today if you'd like to bring arms overhead or down below. Couple more breaths. Good. Then release down out of your tree. Shake it out. Nice job. Bear swings. Yes. Love those bear swings. Good. Then switching for the other side. Hands connect to heart center. Left leg comes up. Left foot either supports you or left foot rests above or below the knee. Finding your tree on this side. Giving yourself patience and grace with your balancing today. What other sounds do you notice that maybe you haven't noticed before? One more breath. Slowly release down. Shake it out. Bear swing. Those are always optional. If you don't favor the bear swings, you can just kind of shake out your arms and legs. Good. Let's come into downward facing dog on your mat. Lift your right leg high, 3-limb dog. Bend your knee, draw your heel to your left glute. Open the hip to the right side. Then exhale for half pigeon. Bring the right knee up to your right wrist. Left foot floats back behind you and rests on your lap. Maybe this is your half pigeon today. Maybe you stay right here. Maybe you'd like to come down to a block or to your forearms. Or maybe if you'd like, you can rest your head all the way down if that's acceptable to you. Just find your comfortable half pigeon. If you're having any discomfort in that right knee, if there's too much compression, try changing the angle of your front shin. Maybe have less of an angle. a little bit more of an angle. Just play around with it. If it's still not comfortable, you can come to figure 4 pose, lying on your back and crossing your right ankle over your left thigh and hugging it in. Couple more breaths. And then slowly rise up. You can come to 3-limb dog or tabletop, either one. And then let's open the right hip by bending that knee and doing hip circles out to the right side. So after half pigeon, we want to open that hip that's a little bit compressed. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog. Left leg lifts high, 3-limb dog. Bend your knee, draw your heel to your right glute and open the hip to the side. Then exhale, half pigeon. Left knee draws up to left wrist. Settling in here, finding your alignment that's comfortable. Right leg just stretched back behind you for support. Deciding here what your half pigeon is on this side. This side might be different than the other side. So just once again, meet yourself where you're at. And of course, if you can't find a steady breathing pattern here, maybe it's not the right pose for you, you may wish to take figure 4 pose. Couple more breaths. And slowly begin to rise up, coming into tabletop or 3-limb dog. With the left knee bent out to the side, do large hip circles, forward and backward circles. So switch direction of your circles. And then release to tabletop and come to sitting in butterfly pose. Bring the soles of your feet in front of you. Remember, the more you draw those feet in, a little bit more intense of a stretch. You can choose if you want them closer in towards your torso or farther away. Don't forget your feet here. Give your feet a little attention. Maybe a little foot massage is lovely. What a wonderful day to practice outdoors in the spring. I hope you noticed some things in nature. I hope you felt connected to nature. There's so many benefits to being outdoors. I read a study that said 90% of Americans live indoors, which means we're just not out as much as we used to be. And I think that impacts so many things, our moods and just feeling balanced and connected to the world we live in. So I would encourage you to get outdoors a little more, even if just for 5 minutes, to just notice nature. Good, and let's come to lying down. Hug your knees in. Release your feet to the mat, bring arms to T position. For spinal twist, you can have your feet close together for a deeper twist, farther apart for a gentle twist. Exhale as your legs fall to the left, gazing up or to the right. If your twist is uncomfortable in any way, have your legs less bent and farther away from your torso. Inhale, legs to center. Exhale, release to the right for spinal twist. And back to center. Hug knees in one last time. And release down for your final surrender, your Shavasana pose, whatever pose is comfortable. If you'd like your legs stretched out or your knees bent, choose what's comfortable. Begin to connect to nice full breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Settling into the ground beneath you. Absorbing all the benefits of your practice today, all the benefits of being in nature, noticing the creation and the beautiful things that God has given us in nature. Allow each breath to help draw you in to stillness. Each exhale helps you to let go of anything that interferes. Allow all the muscles in your face to relax. Your eyebrows and eyelids are soft. Your nostrils release. And your mouth and jaw neutral. Shoulders sink down a little more as both arms filled with relaxation moving to your hands, to the tips of your fingers. Torso and your hips release down a little more, feeling the support of the ground beneath you. Both legs filled with warmth and relaxation moving to your toes. Your mind, your body, your spirit completely relaxed and at peace and absorbing all the benefits of nature. Final surrender, Shavasana. Slowly bring your awareness back to this space. Bring movement back in as you wiggle your fingers and toes. Reach overhead, nice overall stretch. And then slowly roll to your right side. And then help yourself rise up to a comfortable seated position. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so glad you could join me, my friends, in this beautiful change in seasons and just being outdoors. I encourage you to get outdoors a little more. Enjoy some of that time. We'll end with Namaste. The teacher in me honors the teacher in you. Namaste, and be well.